Telkom Business, behind South African businesses' drive to thrive.
Welcome to the Entrepreneurial SME. I am Rams Mabote. Digital transformation is a concept that is discussed countless times on this program. We get to explore how SMEs are an integral part to the transition. This evening, we unpack e-commerce and how entrepreneurs can use online marketplaces to expand their reach, increase sales, and improve profitability. I'm joined by CEO of takealot.com, Frederik Zietsman, to talk more about this. Good evening, Frederik, and thank you very much for joining me. What is your play as Takealot on this space of e-commerce? It is easy to assume it until you tell me how you play in the space.
Thanks, Rams, and good night to the listeners. It's a great privilege to be with you. So I guess Takealot to some extent is a household name at this stage, but I can promise you starting out 10, 11 years ago, it was not that was the case. E-commerce was nascent, people didn't know it. So for us, e-commerce has truly been a gift to the South African consumer. It makes a lot of things easier, and we can expand and unpack the impact on the SME a bit later.
How does it help the playground for SMEs? Is it as easy to navigate? You are a big player in the continent. How does it help the SMEs, that playground?
100%. So if you take the e-commerce at its fundamentals, and I think that's where you need to start, is e-commerce offers the consumer endless selection. What I mean by that is endless amounts and ranges of products to buy. So that's a job that has been done. The consumer knows that. And the SME, where they come in, is they fill that digital shelf. We enable in excess of 8, 9, 10,000 at this stage SMEs to list their products. So effectively, the job that we do and online marketplaces do is not only to make it possible by route to market, but to make it accessible, cheap, and easy for SMEs to sell their products online.
I have only interacted on the side of the consumer, and I can tell you that it is easy and accessible. I have seen that. I have also though found out, and in our programs that we've had before, that a lot of SMEs have a bit of phobia for e-commerce. How do you make it easy for them to play in that space so that they can reach me to continue purchasing through your platform?
100%. No, I think that's been a learning for us as well as we've scaled our marketplace, is not to assume that our jargon and our internal dialogue makes sense to a seller. So what we've done is we've iterated multiple times. Just for sake of reference, we use the term seller for SME, so I might use that interchangeably. So we've learned what does that onboarding journey look like. Once you've clicked on our website and indicate that you want to sell on our platform, we have a warm body, an individual reaching out to you that has a conversation with you, followed by webinars, online learning content, because the better we can get the SME to be at e-commerce off the bat, the better for the platform, the better for the consumer, and the better for the SME. So we've iterated multiple times. To be honest, at the beginning, we didn't really know what we were doing. That was 7, 8 years ago. But I think we've come to a point where we benchmark our platform experience internationally, and the SME, his hand or her hand is being held for the first 3 months since they started selling on the platform.
You've had in 2022 just about 14 million visits worldwide, right? And if I'm an SME and you guys have 14 million SMEs, visits, it gives me a sight of what opportunities lie in there. However, what is the criteria for SMEs to break it into your platform?
So we're quite liberal in that sense. So we ask a few leading questions when the SME registers to sell on our platform. We have to test for things like we only sell certain product categories. We're not legally allowed to sell specific categories. We don't allow second-hand goods on our platform. So we really ask upfront screening questions. But for the most part, we like to test on your merit after you are on the site. If your products have got high return rates, if your operational performance is poor, then we will intervene. But upfront, we are quite liberal, and we want to invite the micro enterprise. We want to invite the big household brand that looks for a different digital route to market. We're not very selective upfront because we know the consumer is interested in diversity. The consumer wants to shop the handmade bracelet that comes from a rural town, and they want to shop the household international brand that they can find in the retail store in the mall.
And the maker of the bracelet would have loved to put it on the retail spaces, the physical retail spaces that we out there. But you make it easier if they can make it there. However, question would be then the costs, because we know some of the things that make it difficult for them to get onto those shelves is because it's expensive. How do you compete?
Yes. So what we try to do is we try to pass on the benefit of our scale to the SMEs, where if you think about the costs that are prohibitive is fixed cost for rental, shelving, capex expenditure, but also the variable cost on the last mile, meaning the delivery leg of an e-commerce transaction. All the benefit that accrue because of our scale, we do pass on to the marketplace seller to make it very competitive. And when we compare our cost to serve to what SME will pay on their own website, we do deem ourselves to be really competitive in our rates and in the services that we offer.
Let me ask the question differently, and I need to take a break shortly, but do you take a percentage of the cost of my product when I put it in and what is that percentage?
Yeah, so the percentages vary per product category. I'll use a spectrum. On the one side, you've got something as commoditized as a mobile device, a Samsung A32 phone. We take, I think, 6% of your sales. But in a category like clothing, where there is more margin, there's more differentiation and fragmentation, it goes up to 14-15% of the sale, which again, we do benchmark internationally. And including in that fee, I think we need to acknowledge is a transaction interchange fee that we pay on credit cards and various payment methods, as well as any marketing costs that we do on behalf of the seller. We run a lot of TV campaigns, we run the Google campaigns, etc. So total cost is at the end of the day, if you count what you get, really affordable.
When I come back, Frederik, I want us to talk about the energy crisis and how it impacts what you guys are trying to do for SMEs. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we continue our conversation